We are back for Sentinels versus Cloud9 as Sen take Cloud9's pick of Ascent 13-9. And now we head to Sentinels Pearl. C9 also has a good Pearl, but they also need to have a very good game to stay in the upper bracket here and bring us to a game 3.
Exactly. If you're looking at the map here of Pearl, at least so far we see the composition from C9, nothing changes, but they've been 3-1 in this split, making it very close against a top dominant team such as G2, losing 11-13, dominating Furia with almost a flawless round, but finishing 13-1 on that one. But Sentinels on the other end, with this composition as well, is currently 3-0 on this map. This is Sentinels' map pick. They're very comfortable on this before. This is something that Zekken mentioned, probably one of our best and strongest maps outside of potentially even Haven going into this one. But now it's the head-to-head battle. You see maybe in terms of the Sentinels, it kind of changes, right? You have the Cypher that stays around net. You have the Vice here for Zelsis, both of them really prominent and good on their respective agent for this map. Although I like to say that for C9, you have that extra trip, and they're also using it for very good information when they're playing the defensive side, where C9 is starting first. And what I'm talking about is that Vice wall that G2 likes to place towards the arc. Net does that with the trip. What it allows here for C9 to do is to work a lot of aggression on the extremities and to play on rotates on from the A side to B because they have this Euro to work with.
Yeah.
Sentinels probably has a good read going into this game because looks like they had a good read going into the Ascent game as well against Cloud9. So when I was really hyped up and trying to see that C9 probably had a chance to push this into a third map, I mean, these guys over on the Sentinels camp have been doing an excellent job adapting on the fly.
I mean, they're going to have to, right? I love what you mentioned about the Cypher because it's more information in those areas, but it also allows you to be ahead of the game more, which Imi absolutely loves. Any step he can be ahead of the other team is perfect. And yeah, the Vice wall is going to let you know when people are coming by, but having that camera around, how are Sen going to play around that? Where are they going to find it? How fast do they destroy it and start messing with Net's utility? All the questions to see how they can shut down that Cypher's defensive
Happy birthday!
hold. Happy birthday. Let's go. Off to everybody having a birthday today. I'm sure there's a few. All right, we're getting on to Pearl here, our second map for our second series. They're having a birthday. They look like they're having fun.
At least a party for sure in terms of the vibes here for Sentinels. Zelsis has all been stepping up here every single time that Sentinels are winning a round. And now Sentinels on the attack, they are able to take control here of the tempo. To kick things off here on Pearl, and it's a Teho drone to spot Vic. Vic, who's had so many good moments in this split though, is now suppressed, can't pull the smoke up. So he's gonna be, he has to stand tall with his ghost.
It's a very big commitment here for Vic to stay in. The shots are just missing. They capitalize on one, but wait, it's set by Mitch. They find more. The Sentinels is now out in the open trying to get themselves to safety here. Very low health on both sides. It's gonna be the Ghost versus the Classic, and Net's gonna not be able to ring true. Zelsis, the Vibe Merchant, takes the pistol round on Pearl.
Finishing the map on a 1v1, Zelsis versus Net, won by Zelsis. Another pistol round, won by Zelsis against Net.
Picture perfect.
Continues to vibe here and help out Sentinels to build up the economy moving into the further rounds. As you've seen here on these type of buys that they had, did go for heavy investments with rifles, bulldogs.
Michael! Michael! Oh.
Not even looking, focused on his screen. Zelsis trying to get the attention, always on his feet. We'll have to see if they can carry right as we get out of this. We'll get an idea of what it is for you as soon as we can and get back into game ASAP here. But like you said, Zelsis not stopping an inch there. Gets the clutch on Ascent to win the map. Gets the clutch for the pistol round to make sure they can start off strong here.
And definitely wants to...
Just a rush attack to be.
Exactly, and just really wants to get into Net's head here after winning this 1v1. I mean, also, Zekken mentioned that, yeah, I'm looking forward to play against a team like Cloud9 because they're good friends with Net, and they just want to topple him down. Unfortunately, you had this friendly rivalry from these players, right? And best friends between
absolutely.
Zelsis and Coach Imi.
Watching Zeppa play ranked just a few days, or like yesterday or a few days ago, him and Zelsis were going at it in MM2.
Yeah.
Just kind of chatting it up, being like, "But you lost to them like 2-3. You got burned." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see you on the stage." They're always ribbing each other just a little bit. The crowd's ready Happy to get back in. Some Q-Berts out there supporting both levels of the Sentinels rosters.
That's right. Usually I see a red here in the arena, but you can definitely see that it's split across the board
C9
today.
Thundersticks out there today, and C9 crowd for sure.
This does mean a lot, though, for a team like Cloud9, who's been missing internationals after internationals. I mean, even if you're looking, I'm going to inject a little bit of cope here for C9, and Imi talked about this in interviews and streams, but when C9 actually had these occasions to try to play into playoffs where the storylines is, well, they're missing these opportunities to make it into Masters and Champs, but it was last year when we actually had these knockout rounds where there was no double elimination bracket, and who did C9 have to play? They had to play against a crew team that made it into Champs into that split 2 of last year, and even they had to play against a G2 that went all the way towards the Grand Finals in a knockout round and then qualified for Shanghai. So they had to play some tough opponents no matter what, every time they made it into playoffs. Now this time, they're playing against a powerhouse at Sentinels that's turned things around since they came back from Bangkok. So it's never going to be an easy run for C9, and either of these teams moving forward will have to face off against G2, as now, back in the server though, 1-0 for Sentinels. Orbs being controlled by Sentinels as the push is coming through from Cloud9 towards main, and it's an easy TP away from Zekken.
Like zoo, just the zoo animals running out A stairs. They're stomping through. You see Sentinels like, no, we don't want any of that. Low buy or not. Smart play to just redistribute and reset the round. Honestly, they spread out to what would just be a default here, 1 minute. And they're going to go ahead and play a fake onto B and get over to A. Yeah, that's working really well. Look at everybody leave A now.
You already forced the TP away here from the side of Zeppa, who initially was trying to keep a 4-player stack towards the A side. They gave up towards that front. Should be an easy entry here for Sentinels because there's no util to stop them as they enter towards A side. Well, Pistols will.
The double swings they have to apply that damage, get some of these guns down. It's not retrievable just yet, but it is a little bit scary for the post plant here. Zekken spamming through, using that hero rifle on this buy, or I should say upgrade rifle.
Shots are missing though. There's an opening for C9, not anymore.
Yeah, he closes it down. Oh, waiting on the right side, waiting for the crossfires to come through, and he finds the ace! Coming in for Zekken, they let him have the eye by power ace on that one. Beautifully done. Remember the PC giveaway from I by Power, the first ace of every week coming through. After that, the $100 gift card and $100 in I by Power merch. Hashtag unlock your ace, baby. I mean, Zekken continues to unlock his aces.
Yeah, make sure you follow him on socials, I by Power, and yeah, the last skill is a little labor, but I mean, he was running everywhere to try to get kills. C9 just trying to flood back towards the Flowers, trying to stay as a group.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, couldn't trade any shots at all, and are we actually calling a timeout right away going into the gun round? Oh, okay, never mind.
Indeed. Indeed.
I was like, that would be very surprising if Imi was doing that, but no. Going to be a little bit more take pause gear.
So we got rock, paper, scissors between Zekken and Zelsis. Oh, Zekken just crushed him in like 2 seconds.
We'll try to find it.
Are they winning? Okay. Oh, he gave it to him. What do we got?
There it is, chat. There it is.
Ooh, got him again.
Dude, he's not missing on anything
Jersey's
today.
Finest is crushing.
One more. On shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Again, dude. It's like Bart Simpson always going scissors or something, bro. He's just going rock and he's destroying your scissors. Come on. All right, we get this tech pause sorted out and figured out. We were talking about Cloud9 a little bit earlier, and an interesting point, just looking at the squad, is they're always a team who will begin kind of with a different roster and then switch it up. So you don't have a team that's grown really all throughout the season like Sentinels would, or a different team, and maybe this is a focus on their playoff woes. They're not fully there. They're not adjusted to 2 stages, maybe even a full season and that. But somehow, they're still always firing high in the ranks. Even with these changes, even bringing new people on the team, they still find their way to playoffs. But what is the crux here is always the question.
Yeah, at least Imi when he was mentioning at the helm of C9, you know, replacing MCE and going into Coach C9.
Yeah.
With the different iterations that came through of like the Moose, the Rooney, the Vanities of the world. But this time around in 2025, he definitely feels that confidence that this is the best iteration of C9 that he's had to coach. And he fully feels confident that this will be a team that could actually defeat world star teams over in the Valorant scene, not only in the Americas, but across the world. But first, of course, you have to try to qualify over the Masters. But he said it is still a work in progress. You might still need a little bit of time in order to flush that all out. But there is a chance when, you know, there's a day where everybody's kind of feeling it. You've seen those matches. They could definitely do some crazy upsets as this dark horse team going into the playoffs, as a dark horse team going into Split 1 in 2025 here in Americas.
And it's still incredibly young, multiple players too. I mean, you got Mitch and Zeppa who are going to bring the veteran status and the pedigree they have, but you know, Oxy, I feel like it has gone from the 4v5, Oxy's kind of not there because it might be Oxy go die, team do the rest.
Exactly.
And more of Oxy being in the team in these situations, and he will be necessary for the round.
You can definitely see that from how they've been activating with this roster overall. Let's say Lotus, for example, or how he's trying to move in towards a map like Pearl. He maybe doesn't bring up the exact numbers coming through because he is trying to create that space. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that game plan of Oxy go kill and try to play a 4v5 anymore, because now you have to play against Zeppa, who's probably had the best career so far in the VCTs on the Americas stage. So the 2025 year has been amazing for him so far. And they also, with the addition of Vic, we've already seen what Vic could do ever since he joined this roster.
What the heck? A
little bit of a sleeper in the first place, but he's totally killing it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to step away for a moment. Let's hear from Cloud9's IGL Mitch and how he feels about the team's performance.
I guess the difference between playoffs and group stages is people are a little bit more tense. I think going into playoffs, there's going to be a lot more pressure on, you know, even like the experienced players, I think, for stage, because they know that they're playing for Toronto. It's going to be a lot on the line, and I think whoever makes the big plays are going to qualify.
I would say multiple 3Ks qualifies as big plays. So Mitch is on that list right now for making those happen. He's been having a great game so far.
Definitely seen that, at least for sure, on that previous map. But to touch back onto Vic, he's been the one that's been doing so many multiple kills and a lot of highlight reels. Remember, on this very map, behind the A site, getting a superb ace against Furia, or how he's playing on Rubble. He's a player that's just able to find some good aggression, and it kind of fits C9 quite well. Paranoia's TPs, he's not trying to play like kind of like a safe style of Omen. I love the style that he brings here over to this agent for this team.
Yeah, and talking about players on C9 that used to be, Zelsis over there too. Used to be a C9 player. Now brings that pedigree over to the side of Sentinels, helping get that roster built up. I mean, from the beginning of the games, I remember him saying kind of to narrate, hey, no more emotional stuff on stage, you know, narrate kind of, he's very hard on himself. So seeing narrate now come into a different light and being able to play under all that stress, but still we're not seeing that emotion take him over now. Like the brains that Zelsis brings to the team there is huge in helping everybody.
It's cool
Zekken too on screen.
As you mentioned that in terms of narrate trying to battle his own demons, that was what we were just talking about on that previous map when it was Net that kind of had like highs and lows of like doubting their performances. But he's been so good in the last 2 weeks here for narrate.
For
sure. He's been opening a lot of rounds here for Sentinels overall. And just when we just talked about and heard what Mitch was saying about about C9, for example, the pressure that is on their shoulders trying to qualify for Toronto, I feel that there's still some sort of small pressure coming in from the side of Sentinels because they kind of want to try to win this to play in Toronto, not only for Sen City, but I would also assume here for John Cuey, who, you know, played in the MENA division out in Africa for the longest time, trying to qualify through the Tier 2, going into North America, playing from Montreal to play under the M80 banner, and now has an opportunity to get picked up. IGL lead this team in Sentinels and wants to play in the home crowd of Montreal with the rest of the fans flying in from different areas, different provinces to see John Cutie play.
Honestly, has to be awesome, especially to be fighting for that feeling and possibly one map away. But right now we're going to hear from Zealous to get his thoughts on facing off against Cloud9.
Vic has been like playing outstanding. Oxy has been playing well. Zeppa has always been frying. Like and Mitch is just like consistent. Net is consistent in their roles. Like I think they're a well-rounded team. Sadly, playoffs is a whole different beast. Like, it's a whole different, like, feeling. It's a whole different feature. Like, I just feel like they are going to be a little bit shaky in playoffs, especially coming off the choke loss that they had against MIBR. I think they'll definitely be a little bit shaken up. So I think them for us, as long as we don't go in nervous against their nerves, I think it should be like an easy match. But I think they've definitely found themselves as a team, so it could be scary.
Are they saving? They gotta go. 2G has to run, but they're going straight into Bang, and he's putting them down. Make or break on Haven, and Oxy's already found the opening kill. He's just sending it. Oxy, no one's watching him.
We are back in the VCT Americas Arena, almost ready to get into game. I promise. I am asking Vans to hit the play button, and he's hovering. He's hovering.
Broken for me. It's broken for me. I'm still trying to fix it.
Okay, that's why.
I'm still trying to fix it.
Right.
My
So
bad,
that's
Chad.
where we're getting fixed up, and then we'll get right into game. All of the rock, paper, scissors has been played out. We got everything sorted on stage here, so we should be back in quite shortly. If you don't remember, right before we went to break, we had the Zekken ace. I mean, that possibly could have broken the server. He's playing crazy. And maybe they're just giving away the PC he has right there, so they just had to hook up a new one, right? But no, really, Zekken 6-1 right now. The Dimensional Drift is up on round 3 because of what he just did. So I don't expect this to be an easy bonus round here for Cloud9.
It's crazy too, right?
Anti-bonus.
Yeah, exactly. But even for Zekken to get the Dimensional Drift already in round number 3 is just reminiscent of what happened on a set before in the first half when they were playing on defense. He's at like 3 or 4 Blade Storms going through. So that is definitely a key component into adapting for the day, that they're like, okay, well, we don't have to try to pivot towards C9's aggression or try to figure out how to play the macro.
Yeah.
If Zekken's just popping off, let's just try to get a game plan around the activation that he has around the Blade Storm, the activation now that he has around the Dimensional Drift. I'm quite surprised, though, that we are moving over to, actually, at least for Ascent, if you're looking at the first place, the map that was picked here for Cloud9. Because at the desk, they were mentioning here that C9 were testing out their map pool throughout the season, right?
Yeah.
You went into a 7-map pool.
They kind of touch on everything.
Exactly, and it's like, okay, well, it's nice we're able to play like our own game or try to have a feel about how we play against our opponents. When you're playing now against a team like Sentinels that haven't touched a set since last year, so you're trying to play your own game. You don't really know what Sentinel's going to be coming in with, and then unfortunately, yet where you maybe have some sort of read against the KO Nateo, you couldn't get stopped by how Zekken was able to activate through, and it almost looked like Sentinels were even more prepared into C9's macro. Remember those spots where Zekken's walking outside of the smoke because it was smoke towards Pizza, runs out, gets a pick. So again, there's been more on the side here of C9 that they have to try to turn it around to hopefully bring this back in, maybe force this into a third map of Icebox. But that said, thank you so much for your patience, chat. Let's start moving back in the server.
Let's go.
Bonus round now available for Sentinels. As it's strong, a rifle for Zekken, already coming out with the Dimensional Drift, trying to find the info. And it's being pinched one left and right. They'll probably have a read. There's 3 players out there, and now it's a pinch. 4 players out towards the A site.
Cruising, about to be out of it.
And there's that trip. The one that Net likes to play is kind of like a vice wall to get information where the pressure is coming from. How does C9 react around that? And you see that he's pulling up the camera at the same time, trying to see if there's pressure in on middle. And as he sees nothing yet, all of C9 can stay stacked up towards the A side and try to stop this push.
Zekken's going to be on the forefront of this one. The head of the spear goes towards the smokes. You can see low health just on the other side of that as they're trying to decide. Zekken gives himself an out. They make sure Bang is safe, and they know that the first layer of the site is there. But no, Cloud9 starts to come out of the woodwork with shots from left and right, and the crossfire is beautiful.
And unfortunately, the vines being thrown by Zelsis kind of stops here the opportunity from the last two players of himself and Zekken trying to swing out to go for trades. So he just has to keep players at bay. Try to keep them towards the A site where you see Zekken is moving for a plant.
30 seconds left.
So the responsibility now for Zelsis, stay, try to watch back and maybe go for a fight towards the back of the spawn. If not, I mean, if he's going to walk back towards the street, that camera being set up here by Net could see a lot.
Zelsis, the super quiet here. He's got 3 people to pass and then a little extra time to wait here. But not too long. You can't leave Zekken out to dry on this situation. It's going to be tough, and the pincer even harder as Zelsis has the timing. Zekken trying to stay alive, gets a spam, but it doesn't throw him off, and he gets 2. Zekken's able to take 1, but he's done his job. 2 for the round, and Zekken is happy with that. He leaves Zelsis with the perfect prep. The smoke is there. It's at half. They're not even looking. He misses the first shot, but he's going to have it. Nose on the second defuse. That bike, it does go through, and he's able to get the clutch. The 2v4, and Sentinels make it look easy.
The double Z's coming out from Zekken and Zelsis, putting C9 to sleep. What a move moving out here from Zelsis. The patience that he has and the confidence that you have to leave Zekken alone inside the site. You were talking about it. It was going to be a tough position for Zekken in the site, but you know he's going to be good for at least 1.
And he got shot through the box and didn't overreact. Like, so calm.
As a unit so far, this team on the attack side of Sentinels. A big clutch coming through here from Zelsis. And now C9, well, they're going to try to gamble it up here. Try to get this orb to build up an ult for C9 within the next round.
Oh, family photo right outside the dismiss. They were not expecting that. It's been something C9 put the cam up and have had that space for free all the time. And Sentinels just pulled the rug out from under him on that. 3 dead, and the push towards A easily happening here. Zekken, again, 1 off of ultimate.
I mean, we're going to sound like a broken record by the end of this game. Zekken owns. Zelsis owns.
Yeah.
But there are 2 players that are pretty decent in the clutch. Unfortunately, though, for Cloud9, they don't have the best weaponry to work with.
Staying quiet. Just trying to hide around the utility right now. Got it. It's a few jumps onto Zekken, but he still gets 1. Okay, Stinger does some repeated damage, but it's not going to be enough. Narrate gets that final kill here, and Sentinels are moving through the defensive protocols of C9 like butter here. Just dismiss and gone. They were so ready for that on 3 different levels to fight that too.
And a similar story again to Ascent.
Good up.
Going into round number 5.
Run these dogs
Zekken,
down, but passively.
Zekken already has another dimensional drift to work with, and now Cloud9 pulls a timeout. The first one here of the second map, trying to work around what we saw before we headed into the replays. Ults available on their side of the defense, and knowing that Zekken has his dimensional drift available, I wonder if they want to try to get some sort of play to get behind and fight behind the dimensional drift that Zekken is going to try to utilize to get information. Because that was something that on that first map that Bang did very well against that push from Cloud9 when Oxy was trying to ult through. So hopefully they'll be able to bring some sort of, or cook something up here to not give too much space for Sentinels to work with on this map of Pearl, because the rotates are quite difficult to do here on the defense.
Maybe Zeppa will meet him in the dimensional drift. They'll have some coffee and then separate. They need to get some kills on those duelists though. Oxy and Zeppa having a little tough time in the first 4 rounds, again getting started. Once we saw it switch on Ascent, they started to ramp up, but they will not have that time, or that amount of time here on Pearl. 5th round, guns all around as Oxy is going to bring out the operator, and I'm sure Emmy sorted out how they may be using these ultimates coming into the round to make sure they can get one for themselves.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the timer's not moving, chat.
It is not. And it looks like we do have another tech pause coming through. You are all warriors in the crowd and viewing at home. We appreciate you as we will get through this as soon as possible and update you when we can. It looks like we're going to get Bang sorted out here on stage.
Yeah. A tough one, though. Keeping here the suspense going on the edge of our seat, because we just mentioned what would be the plan that Imi would be calling out here for Cloud9. We didn't have a chance to fully see everything yet in the server in terms of buy, so we'll just wait this for a bit, as, yep, that is not the type of drawing we want to see here.
The curse of the sign.
It's a cute drawing.
It is.
It's just a warning I don't like. I don't like tech pauses.
It's an omen. Wait a minute. Wait.
No, actually, it's two Astros playing.
That's true.
Oh, no, we can't do these type of tech pauses. Not when you got two old dads here on the desk just doing a bunch of dad jokes.
So it looks like they'll get Bang sorted out again on this. Zekken went from 6-1 to 10-3 just in that short amount of time, which is ridiculous. I do not understand it. And Zelsis as well, we saw him just on the previous round. Something about Zelsis, when Vice came out, unlocked another level in him. Even saying he loves the kit, loves the situation he can get himself in and out of with that agent. And it really has been a shiner for him whenever he can use that in an anchoring position. Very quick to come out with a few kills. And we just saw the last clutch as well between him and Zekken.
But it has been a great series so far for sure. When you're looking back at what Imi was just talking about during the interview with Liz before we got into the second map. What's going on here?
They dropped the sign.
Oh,
to the floor with you.
I dropped the sign.
Stop it. Oh,
Anyways,
they're in the stage.
Yeah. We're fixing it out. But that said,
that's what the game is played.
Just to go back to what Imi was talking about with Liz earlier on too, when he reflected on what happened on that first map of Ascent, there's been small mistakes that we just mentioned when we were casting that rendered very costly. Some small individual mistakes, but also the call to go for a force buy. I think it was like a 10-4 scoreline or something like that. So we had a couple of stinger buys. They had to force buy for 2 or 3 rounds in a row to finally get the ball rolling. I think after this timeout, it's just to make sure that they maintain their calm as well on the side of C9 so that they could just focus on the game and not worry about the 4-0 lead that Sentinels already built.
That's right. All right, let's see what they can do. Cap looks a little stressed here before they get in the game, but Kaplan delivers the strats for Sentinels, and we ask him to help strategize your evening with some recommendations on what to watch. It's time for show and tell.
There's a time limit on how long we get.
Yeah. Everything is out the window.
Sean, your dad has had enough. You see him?
Where is he? Is he getting?
He's out of
He's
here.
about to come on stage.
Bro, he's out of here, bro.
Dad, I need some help. Fix this for me.
Carlos.
Hey.
We just got baited so hard.
Now that's good news.
That is good news. But
That's good news. I'm right. That's fine. That's fine. It's better to have the game ready than us
It
film.
all worked out. We'll just stay here for a sec. We'll wait.
I think that'll work. All right. What do they have now? Saw Imi using all the strategies. I'm sure Kaplan is probably squeezing Qbert right now, the ever-living life out of it. And I think we're about to go in, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to have the play button pressed. And we are now back on to Pearl. Sentinels still 4-0. I'm sure C9 wishes that had changed, but it is not going to. That is a heck of a lead so far. Remember, those ultimates are ready. We're just coming out of a C9 timeout.
Who's next?
So the game plan has to be there. Immediate dimensional drift coming out from Zekken. We're not playing forward as we're trying to see if C9 was going to use that strategy, but it's Oxy trying to dodge. He's going to get spotted though, but dimensional drift.
And
Short battle that Oxy wins.
No way, Oxy's so ready for it. He says, yeah, done that a bunch of times myself. Zep is able to trade one back, and now Sentinels falling left and right. Oxy's not stopped by the vines, but the Steel Garden is going to take away the arsenal. It's left up to the Classics. Zelsis is going to come firing through. They know they need to reposition and get themselves to safety, and it looks like he's turning tail to head to the other site and calls for John Cutie to follow.
That was so good by Oxy to kick things off. Staying alive towards that back and dropping Zekken was everything to allow C9 to come back within this game. Look at him avoid all of that utility that was thrown towards that back of the site and still runs through Zelsis' Razor Vines to get a pick. But now we go into the mid round. John Cutie's still alive. He's calling for the pivot. The silent stop and go back into this B site. and C9 gave that up. There's an opportunity now, especially John Cutie and Salvo's up, to maybe turn it back in the heads, back in the lead for Sentinel.
And the way this played out, C9 could string a few rounds together if this goes clean. Ultimates for Vic coming up. Oxy coming up in 1 pip. You see Mitch already has his so much to be used here. And now they'll close in his 3. Dimensional Drift actually comes out right away for Zeppa.
They're avoiding all of it. Right now, letting himself getting spotted on the top is huge here for Zelsis. But they rate the push towards the street.
Quick flick on the 25 HP. Oxy's gonna get a 3rd one for the round. Put Bladestorm online and give that over. Yeah, they're gonna wait. Grab that, give it over to somebody who needs it like Vic. And they'll get another one online too. So Cloud9, after what was their timeout and a bit of extended time, they do get the round in their favor. And Oxy's operator is gonna be online.
That was 2 big ults being utilized by C9 as well, though, to salvage this round. Thankfully, on net, in terms of the information he's able to grab with the neural theft. But look at that push. Not afraid of losing HP.
Well, smart. You got to play exactly how your opponent expects you not to. And Oxy playing inside his opponent's head there to know what they were thinking and get those forward pushes. Stuff you love to see, and he's finally turning online here at the beginning of the map.
Ults are still available that are pretty good for Cloud9. The Hunter's Fury for Mitch. Sentinels not opting to go for any orb control at the beginning, as you do have Narrate being 1 away from the Nightfall and Bang from the Cosmic Divine.
Easy. They have the 2-2 pinch on this from Street and over towards lobby control, or A main control already here. So Sentinels is doing some good work to get themselves in between and possibly behind the defense.
And they're just stomping through to break that trip, so they have that confidence, knowing again that C9 likes to play towards the extremities because of these trips, informational trips being set up here by net. So look at the chaos that they actually create now. How much space is being given out? They have to watch their backs. Now they lose full control of middle, which gives a chance here for Sentinels to really try to smother any type of stack that's happening towards Cloud9. And they're about to pinch towards the A site where maybe Zeppa has a TP out, and that's going to leave Vic alone.
Vic's ready to be seen, but just 1. He tried to take it out before it got all the way to Oxy, so they can still throw a bit of a fake into this. Almost a lineup there. Zeppa's able to come back and trade out the damage, though. Very low health, and he goes down to the hands of Narrate. As Mitch from just on the other side is able to tag in some damage. 3v3 as Sentinels try to hunker down an A.
Mitch size full util as well. Starts with the recon to get a ping.
Oh, that little duck after he hit the shot. Oxy's going to come flying through with the Blade Storms. They do find it's John Cutie in A main. And it's a main fragger in Oxy. He's going to go ahead and get another one for the team. And Mitch gets that defuse.
Looks like C9 is able to refocus. Coming back here from this pause. And they've been looking pretty clean and on point, especially Oxy at the helm of this. Remember, we mentioned he was fairly quiet on that first map, but is having crucial kills going into the second map. A double kill he had on the previous one, 3 into this round, or 2 rather.
Nice, guys, let's go, baby!
Yeah. And while feeling enabled there, Oxy, he's going forward knowing the team will have him. Like, nobody can trade those angles, but they can trade the chaos that Oxy creates there. So very much behind each other on those plays where he's flying through and up over top.
It's a very passive camera all the way towards the bottom of the streets. It spots 3 players and Sentinels. They want to pivot very quickly on a split towards this B site. There are 2 good trips being set up by net, so he's going to try to utilize here any smokes that's being thrown on the attack to go for kill trips.
Smokes everywhere. Zeppa tries to peek out of one, but gets taken down by the Stinger. That means it's Sen trying to work fast here with a few of those low buys around the bigger weapons. Oh, a Vine kill onto Mitch. Nicely placed by Zelsis. Still have control of the site, and this is getting a little awkward. His net can grab one, but it looks like Sentinels come through hard enough to make this round theirs.
Fortunately, Oxy couldn't get that pick onto Narrate. Gets the wall bank down to about 50 HP. Of course, he's got a regen shield with the HP remaining, but man, that was looking pretty close here for C9 to be able to get some success out of those trip kills. But lots of utility coming through for Sentinels on the execution towards that site. The Razor Vines, the Salvos, they couldn't really find good positions to play around the smokes. They tried to get those picks, and it was Sentinels all over in this current round to open up this B site. At least Oxy still has the up moving into the next round. Vic still has the Cosmic Divide for the retake. But now trying to play aggressively in these corners towards that right side, or the right side here of this B site.
I'm saying is speed is the name of the game now. If you know Oxy has that,
exactly.
has that operator, or are you just trying to get behind and in front or close to it really fast? So Oxy's kind of deleted on those long-range, hard-angle shots. So you had to save the operator that time as Sentinels just fly into B. And it looks like they love covering this side of the map, at least to start here.
And a small change, again, because we just talked about how Sentinels likes to be fairly aggressive. W push down towards Arc to try to break trips. Now they're going to try to leverage Oxy with the operator, try to get a pick towards middle.
That's such a scary spot. They can flood into Art so fast, but he does have the help there from Mitch. A little bit of a street fight here going on. And that's going to win that one. Does he have assistance from the team as they start going back and forth in the alley? Narrate trades it back here as they slowly move down and start to execute on B.
Unfortunately, he can hold it well enough here towards the street to funnel him back towards the up of Oxy. So Sentinels now could creep up and split towards his B site. Hesitating a little bit here, just trying to find the information where the players of C9 are.
They avoid this Armageddon, which is nice, but they can't avoid Bang. Another one through. John Cutie's going to be able to get the trade, and they swing in. Mostly through streets and that few from long still. Even if the op was there, it looks like they can circumvent it with their pathing. Oh dear. Mitch, a little bit of a hot foot, has to move out of that situation here. The operator very close to going down in this situation. Economy is still there for another buy come in. No, it's not for C9. They need to come up big on this round. Oxy switches out. Sentinels trying to hold it near ring one. Zelsis versus Oxy now. Possibility of getting half, but he's going to go for the fight, and it's going to be Zelsis again in the clutch moment.
Zelsis, so many 1v1s. He's closing out in this series. From Ascent over the Pearl. And C9 almost converting Amanda's advantage on a retake.
Oh.
So nice on the positioning from Zelsis. The patience that he comes across. Doesn't want to push forward even if the spike's being tapped. He knows he has 7 seconds at least, or 6 seconds at least to work with before the 7-second defuse comes through.
Oh, and this buy.
Staying cool.
They are looking for loans on this one. Reaching out, we got Bulldogs, did have a Stinger. Operator, Phantom. C9 needs to be able to back each other up on this one so they don't all fall to the wayside. That was a very big win for Sentinels to make it a 4-round gap. And already into R, already messing with this utility. They are making C9 sweat on these rounds. C9 doesn't really get to play the round the way they want right away.
Such good calls coming out from John Cutie.
Jeez.
Punishing everywhere. Oxy's trying to get some leverage out of this operator. Util to push him away right into the crosshair of another. Yeah, it looks like they have to take fights everywhere across the map here for Cloud9, so you have no choice but to move around and stick in those players that has no util to help them with, so they're leaning towards an ace line stack.
And if this is a spike down for Sentinels, they're reading that they can get all the fights they want before they even have to take the site, as C9 is kind of in a position where they're hungry. They want to be first, so they're putting themselves in these dangerous one-and-dones, and they're always traded by Sentinels.
Pathing looked pretty good though for Zeppa. Just unfortunate that he couldn't get a double kill after net. Got fully flashed by the double swing towards the B site. And Sentinels, every time they finish towards B, so far in these executions, they're always up on the 4 versus 2, 3 versus 2.
That's a great point. When's the last time we really saw them go A? When they did, they got crossfired by C9.
Not only that, but C9 can't really find a way to really stop this early push or the mid-rounding from Sentinels working from this mid-control that they have back into the B site. It doesn't even matter if C9's trying to rotate Net's utility towards this B site. They're just thwarting down any type of setups that Cloud9's currently doing.
Defeated.
They who are so good on the defensive side of Ascent has trouble finding solutions here on the map of Pearl.
And now 7-2 here as Sentinels are looking quite unstoppable on their selection of Pearl, and we know why they pick it. They look clean, their defense and attack side are clean. And already Bang lighten up this round to get the operator off the map.
I found him, I found him.
I have died, and he is right here. Okay, so this becomes the C9. Keep inching in when we can in that economy. Look at all the regen shields just to have shields and get in this round.
Signature buys for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Kill trip towards the front of the site. You have trips as well towards the A side, so they're trying to leverage net here to anchor as much as he could.
They turn into it. Attacks from A main as well on multiple fronts here. They're trying to figure out what they can look at and what is actually the problem. And Zekken is the only one in here, and he's already getting a ton of information for the team before the take.
Got hit by the tripper recon. Didn't he get wallbanged?
Yeah. He's been close. Mitch, health going up a little bit there.
Oh, they know the flank.
And they're looking. It has reset. Narrate turns away at just the last moment, though, and this could be the line for Oxy to get the first shot on. He misses. Zekken's able to take down Zeppa in sight. Oh, it's just too much. C9 are overwhelmed. They move forward too quick and really are kind of deleting C9's opportunities back into the site before they get there.
Just looking at the macro out for Sentinels on the attack side. The condition that they have, always working towards middle, pushing Oxio win, and suddenly in the previous round working towards the extremities, and C9 weren't ready for that one when the dimensional drift came through, noticing their plane anchored within the site, trying to play around kill trips once again.
And that was what, like 3 conditioned rounds towards B?
Exactly.
And then they finally go A.
Now you're seeing Sentinels it's a similar storyline as Ascent. Just back and forth we went, even if Sentinels won the bonus. Cloud9 found ways to like catch up for a bit into a 4-2 scoreline, but then it could potentially now be a 9-3, 10-2 half for Sentinels going into the second half. But thankfully, Zeppa gets the first blood with the Sheriff buy that C9 has, and a back from Oxy!
Okay.
Clean shots.
I mean, this is what it takes right now for Cloud9. The low buys trying to get under the skin of Sentinels here. I mean, you're not going to get this every round, so they better use the advantage they have coming out of this one immediately. Still, we've seen the 2v4, and it's not even guns for C9 this time.
Crosshair placement could be good again.
Last player standing.
Can Vic finish it off? Bang goes for another one, an ace on the board, all by himself here. Zeppa and Net are left. Has to deal with the flashes. And the uplink shows exactly where he is.
That's huge, though. Not getting spammed after the hat came through and he survives. Now he could play around the map.
He's got
Keep
one
C9
star.
guessing.
Without it pulling them in.
At least weapons got picked up now. 2 rifles on the side of C9.
Bang. Bang with the ace. Bang with the Red Bull clutch. Another iBuyPower ace and another one from Sentinels in this series. Remember to keep hitting up the iBuyPower socials at iBuyPower. Hashtag unlock your ace and get those gift cards and goodies. $100 of each in merchandise. My God, these guys are delivering the game and to the fans today.
Sentinels fans definitely are getting some goodies so far from highlight reels coming out from these players across the board. Mentioning clutches out from Zelsis. Aces on this first map or second map from Zekken first, then now on to Bang.
Yeah.
Nary doesn't even have a chance to play the game. Everybody's just getting his kills. But now 9-2 scoreline, last one of the half. Op is back in the hands of Oxy, and again, still trying to find an answer for Cloud9. Back into the double duelist, trying to play some sort of high-low. Back towards Art, trying to stop the push here from Sentinels, who are staying all the way back towards spawn in the very beginning.
Man, I don't know what it is. Whoever C9 is playing, they got that playoff plot armor, man. They just, these rounds, it look like C9 will come back. Some other aura just stops it from happening. And now, Sentinels, like you said, look like they grabbed the 10-2, especially after they identified the op. They've been able to move around Oxy so well in these games so far and not really allow him that pop-off moment.
Well, they already used Narrate to throw some Prowlers towards the A side first, then going for the ping into the B side. So Sentinels looks like they really want to try to hit this first and leverage here. Narrate on the backstab if they can.
30 seconds left.
All right, Steel Garden pushes just out of sight. Armageddon actually takes the right side of Steel Garden that's available and where they might be able to exit. Oh my God, Bang just going for the full drive-by. Zeppa's gonna punish that. Zeppa's gonna punish that. The 3K coming in, the spike is down, and it looks like we'll get a repeat of a SEN, a 9-3 first half, unless we see the world from Narrate.
We want to Narrate to get some action, but there's no time left to pick up spike to plant. Zeppa goes nuclear in the last round of the half to salvage the round for Cloud9 and to bring it back to the 9-3 potential curse. And see if C9 can bring this back here in the second half, but man, was it aggressive coming out. They pulled the rotate over towards the B side. They gambled correctly here for C9 to just over-rotate and win those fights.
History repeats itself for that first half scoreline, but can C9 write a different ending and bring us to a map 3? We'll find out after the break.
Esta noche te apagando, sé que tú quieres jugar. Tócame, tú tienes la llave para descubrirme y a ver qué te sale. Tócame, tú tienes la llave. Vamos a portarnos mal, que esta noche te apagando, sé que tú quieres jugar. Tócame, tú tienes la llave para descubrirme y a ver qué te sale.
Sentinels move to the defensive side with 9 rounds to their name. This was big on Ascent because Sentinels was also able to take that second half pistol round and basically close the door on Cloud9. It is super important that C9 can score this pistol round if they want to stay in.
And it hasn't been looking good on the side of Cloud9. When they had such a good defensive start against Furia, it was basically 11-1 on their defense to close it out on a 13-1, but now no answers at all with whatever Sentinels are throwing round after round. And even when they did, you have one player just stepping up to the plate in Zekken and Bang, pulling up aces.
Let's see if Kaplan has pulled it out of the guys when they're going for the end of the game, that they don't let up any, that they go for that finish, that they find the win that he was talking about between games where they felt like they'd won already and they let off the pedal. C9 will definitely take advantage if they get the chance. We'll see their first strat poking a little bit towards the B side of the map.
Yeah, already Zeppa's down to low HP. And at the very beginning, we're just trying to see if Zelsis has anything set up towards this B site. Unfortunately, it's being set up here towards A. The triple push coming out here from Sentinels 2. So right now for C9, they feel like they have an open sight and it's easy, but they have a pinch on both ends here. If C9 doesn't flip the map to work back towards the spawn, they might be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, I like this. How many teams are confident enough to push through that spawn ramp? So they're going to have everybody in sight now coming from the back, and they're going up the street side. They know they need to push. C9 beautifully getting aggressive here, but Sentinels are ready on the deep defense.
But Vic able to get those kills, and he does have a star to work with. That's going to be huge, at least to delay to start, allowing Net to get the pick.
Huge kill from Nat. They're going to try to get hit on the spike. Zekken takes one down. Vic is there. Bang, trying to figure out which side he can get on to get the perfect shot. It's not going to be a repeat from last half. Cloud9 get the pistol and start off strong enough to keep it going.
And that was a gamble coming out from Cloud9. The trip being activated towards that flank from Net. When you saw that Zekken crossed over, they said, okay, well, let's just try to push towards the street instead of towards the spawn. They still had a 3 versus 2 towards the street to win over the fights here for Cloud9, and that's what they needed there. It pays off for them to push out towards the street. They rated perfectly towards the end. And they have a chance to fight back. 2 rifles, one in the hand of Oxy and one in the hands of Mitch. Grouped up together once again.
Yeah. They'll definitely have to protect these rifles. A full stack for Sentinels. predicting towards B, so this should be a nice round for C9 here. If they can find any of the extra kills, get them on Oxy. I wonder if they give him a stinger to go far. Sorry, it's already on Zeppa, rather.
Yeah.
Zeppa to go farm and get some more orbs here once they get the spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
Still nice control. Oh my god, they salvoed each other. Amazing. They know there's no point waiting for spike. No map to jump off. So bring in the salvos.
And not even a chance here to give a plant down. I'm sure somebody just hit the tab. They're like, okay, somebody picked up an orb. That means they're gonna move towards the A site, and then you just salvo each other. I think that's very smart. Okay, we got our third player with an ace. Unlock your ace, I guess.
What if you get an ace from all 5 on a team? The ace. Oh my god, the roster ace.
But again, still a smart call here from John Cutie. You don't even allow the extra 300 credits to go across the board.
Perfect.
For C9 on top of that. No orbs to be picked up on a plant. So you're trying to play at least not necessarily the long game. You're trying to shut it down now, not give a chance here for C9 to snowball the economy round after round.
Zekken's got a great line on B. This focus towards mid and towards A becomes that much more serious here for Sentinels, and Cloud9 is now forced to walk through this gauntlet of defense that's staring right at their position. Oh, crosshair's broken, but Zelsa still finds Oxy on top of the box. They slowly move into this one. They still have Zeppa coming around the outside of this to play a little trickery in the late part of the round. But I think C9 are a little bit in the middle now, and not just on the map.
Drone is down.
On the drone spotted 2. Here comes a repinch back from Bang.
Oof. Traded. Little 1-for-1. Mitch with the swing, but actually Vic was looking the other way. They did not have that timed out. Oh, almost reads it. The 6th sense comes up.
Trades are perfect.
It's Vic's chance. 26 seconds left. Not a lot of time on the clock, so it's going to be a pressure plant once he does get there, but he chooses correctly.
Yeah.
Guardian Angel's watching out for him.
And he knows he has to hurry up. A couple of seconds ago, maybe 10 seconds ago, salvos are being used by John Cutie, so he knows he has to move in for a plant right away. If not, John Cutie gets in range, stops the plant, they win off time. Now still with 4 stars to work with on the side of Vic. Salvo's back up on the side of John Cutie. Zekken has drone with the decoy. And you're going to play the good old Pearl map. Long range all the way up towards the top of the B side. 2 stars being set down by Vic. And the more that you're walking down here for Sentinels, the more chances Vic has to be able to win this round.
Here's the util. Brought in. Actually just takes him off. I thought it might have gotten it for a second. Oh, he hides it. Oh, down to 6 HP. He gets it through the wall.
No time.
John Cutie. Not enough time. They checked that he was back hall, and it's a Red Bull clutch coming in for Vic. A huge play there from the controller.
And that was a key grab wall being thrown out by Vic. You were so close to getting it to halfway.
Jeez.
But to get him right off the defuse at that point, you have to go back for a full 7-second stick, so somebody has to stay onto that spike.
Is that a joke? Is that a joke?
He almost got punished though, because his target selection wasn't going to be on the one that was it was on the one that was defusing. So if somebody was looking back up on the top instead of looking towards the back of the site, and that could have been a different story. But thankfully though, he was able to escape narrowly at 6 HP remaining. And you mentioned it, Kaplan during the interview with Liz was mentioning on that first map, well, we had a good lead, we can't let up, we can't let them come back. So with that clutch, I mean, they've been flawless so far in the second half with 3 rounds in a row. And as soon as you have, flawless for C9 for 3 rounds in a row.
Right.
You want to make sure here for Sentinel's side that doesn't continue to snowball up.
There was so much more in the Sentinels' arsenal in these previous rounds. Zekken ult after ult, able to throw in a lot more power to these situations that they aren't getting here in the first 3 rounds, and we're seeing how much it's stunting them a little bit. The Sentinels, that is, to get those rounds necessary here to catapult them to a game point again so quickly. So only 3 rounds away, and a low buy here for Sen means it should be another one rolling over in the favor of C9, and they bring it that much closer. They pressure that much more, and here have a chance to snuff out a timeout from the side of Sentinels, from what Kaplan had to tell the team.
Right now, it's a stack towards this B site for Sentinels with a hero rifle on Zekken. Star is being utilized to try to help out John Cutie to make C9 think that they have a big stack towards. They have flashed through the swing. It's good for Sentinels, but that pivots everybody else here for Cloud9 towards this A site.
They're going in quick. Smokes go down just for a bit of that back pressure. Oh, the team's able to use these smokes so well, too. Oh, Reddit on it. Oh, on the clone. Almost got the kill still, though.
Yeah.
Oxy's able to help clean that one up on the double swing. The plants come through, and a bit of shock dart damage still lingers on the members of Sentinels from the beginning of the round in Mitch.
2 rifles picked up, though. They could fight towards the back of the site.
Whoa, still jumping. Use my body, he says. Can't pick up the kill still. Even trying to give the teammate help on the jump out there. Zelsis and Bang here, not long for this world, is C9 doing a great job of controlling the game when they know they have it, keeping it locked down and keeping the trades coming. Another round for C9 here as they close that gap.
You still definitely see here that Sentinels are laser beaming their opponents in this eco in that previous round of Cloud9. Hero rifle that was purchased by Zekken still got some value. They dropped 3 weapons on a set of Cloud9 with it. Now that's 4 unanswered rounds for Cloud9 on the second half. Dimensional Drift available for Zeppa, and might be one of those plays again. Try to sell this fake towards the A side TP right away to see if there's going to be any aggression from Sentinels up on the top of the pillar.
Next.
And we moved away from any operator game that these teams have been thinking they can put into the
You
mix.
look back, you saw him.
Ooh, it's about moving fast and faster with these dimensional drifts already towards the backside. Zeppa's looking to create space. He's just toying with these members of Sentinels right now, causing them to back up out of sight as they get the last bits of info that they can.
It's good that he was able to look back on the top of that dimensional drift here for Zeppa, because remember, it was a long time ago, but on the attack side, it was missed at the entrance. Here's our fight. Attempt to retake for Sentinels.
That feels a little bit awkward. You commit to one wall, and there's just going to be another in your face. Who's going to play the side-to-side better? And it's Sentinels for now. 3v4. C9 looking to pick up a few more kills. John Cutie in a swing towards the backside. A beautiful kill there, and the teamwork that they have set up. And they are not allowing C9 that much ground. Mitch, however, from street. Oh, he throws the Armageddon, but he's pushing. Mitch is always pushing, and he takes down John Cutie. Another round for Cloud9.
Mitch once again stepping up, a 1v1. And you think this starts with John Cutie that he ran out of bullets with his rifles because he only had a classic to fight back against Mitch, who allows himself to get the pick with the wall bang towards the end. Down to 21 HP. That was so close there. Some good values, good run with that.
Whoa. Nat is feeling it right now, my man. Holy moly. We'll hear from Nat, but we usually don't see him standing up out of his seat. Cloud9 is feeling it, that silly. Enemy tag.
Sen fans right now in the arena don't want C9 to tie up this game. Cloud9 looking for early information on the top of this B. Long. That allows here for Zeppa to start moving up, trying to find where the wall could be set up, and they realize it here. It's actually down towards the street. This is actually a good position here for Cloud9 because they have some great forward position. Zeppa's already in the front of the B long. They could start pitching out towards the street, so I love that we're trying to fight back towards the street, but Oxy could get 2 here.
Oh my gosh. The crosshair placement doesn't even allow the Sentinels player to get a full swing out from their position. And that's both down for street. A 9-9 round looking like we're going to get here out of this. And something happened out of that last Cloud9 timeout that just lit a fuse for them.
Yeah. It almost felt for Sentinels. They were counting too much on the Vice wall from Zelsis that they thought that Cloud9 maybe was baiting that wall instead, and it would have some time. As they snuck around here for Cloud9, they hit around that corner, right at the middle of the street. And it just caught some players off guard and made it easy here for Cloud9 to tie up this game. And the economy is not the best now for Sentinels. They have to go for hero rifles in the next round if they could save these 2 weapons, if not a full eco, once again for the defensive side.
And they were trying to push Guardians into this round, too, from the side of Sentinels. So you already saw them trying to squeak in the money there just to make sure they could keep it off of Tide. But that will not be the case. C9 are going to keep quite a few alive on this one. The 3K for Oxy as he brings up the Blade Storm. Mitch has the Hunter's Fury, and Vic will end their rate to make it 9-9 now. Incredible stuff from C9. I think it's just the moments they're pushing forward. Like you mentioned, this spot from Oxy, they're not expecting people to be that far up. They're not expecting C9 to just be taking this space so willy-nilly, but they are doing it aggressively.
See that shot?
Yeah, they're feeling it. Now timeout for Sentinels.
Yeah, Kaplan's trying to have the conversation here with the team. We just talked about the economy situation for the defensive side, losing those 2 weapons at the A orb. They have to go for some sort of a eco. You'll see once we get into the server, just maybe a stinger for some, shares maybe for others, but overall here on the side of Cloud9, they've been doing a great job working around the map on the attack, just like Sentinels did before, but getting much better success out of it with now 6 rounds in a row on their side. Sentinels probably has to find a way to maybe be way more aggressive than they have been in the past, just not only having Zekken alone walking up on the top of these B ramps and TPing away, because the space when you TP out is the space regained by Cloud9. And when they're usually so good with this composition for flood retakes, they just lose. Just similarly to Cloud9, a lot of players in the process once Cloud9 gets the plant down.
And we will have a quick tech pause out of here. Oh, I think we will be back with that tech pause quite quick as we see Oxy returning to his seat nice and fast. We appreciate the speed. Thank you for not tripping and falling. And we'll get right back into the action. And yeah, we have the timeout that did just go through. And Kaplan, like you said, feels like they need to sort something out here. That low buy has to go against quite a few ultimates. What can they craft? What can they do to stop C9? I love the fact that you pointed out what they were using the Zelsis wall, right? Because we talk about this, it's not that Zelsis should pick Cypher, but we were talking about how Net used the Cypher cam plus multiple trips to not have to just rely on the one thing, and it does seem like that one thing, the wall, is being slightly exploited here. So crowd, which capsule? Which one are you picking, left or right? Which capsule do we want? So Sen said, well, yeah, there's a Tarek. There's a Tarek, all right. What do we got?
Which one do you want?
Which one?
Left, right? Oh, it's with the head.
Sentinels. Okay.
It would be funny.
Oh,
if,
I was gonna say. All right.
If we had a Sentinels fan choose a C9 Classic. No. Okay,
no. Oh yeah. Stage mirror is a thing.
Exactly.
Oh no.
See, we have to choose the ones that don't have the jerseys.
Yeah.
That's a Sentinels hoodie. That has to be a Sentinels Classic right there, right?
On. Find the Thundersticks from C9.
I thought we were half and half. Oh, what?
Oh, wait. No,
there we go.
Okay.
Scared. I was gonna I thought it was half and half for C9 and Sentinels fans.
What do we got?
Hell
okay. Yeah, we started picking back up for C9 fans.
What is this now? 4-2?
Like something.
Oh,
that's easy.
5-2.
Yeah. Hank Hubert on that vote.
Chat, what's been your headshot accuracy now supporting your favorite team's Classic?
Yeah, chat, which one are you supporting? What's good? Oh. Caught in 4K.
Dude,
they practice. They know already.
Rob Moore,
Never
good job.
confused.
Good job having Zelsis shield the Sentinels bundle.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go. Okay, so we got a double C9 in that one. Okay.
Got it. Oh. C9 all day. There you go. They're there. We're finding them. Oh, of course. Oh, wait. No.
Mrs. Net, please.
Sabotage by Net's mom. Of course. Tarek mentioned.
Now I was starting getting red right away. I mean, I feel like if the camera's on me, I probably would.
I would whip it. I would whip it the first time out of excitement. I'd be like, oh yeah, of course. Or I just put both hands up.
I was gonna say I'd probably
down,
win because I usually would point both. I purchased like what 24 classics from last year. Now my kid can't eat.
Oh. But the teams are eating good.
Yeah, true.
Teams are eating good. Oh no. Okay, yeah. You like put the Tarek down faster. It's like C9. Sen, all these Sen voters.
At least while we continue forward with our fans here voting for the best classic.
Yeah.
Cloud9 once again, they're showing here that they do have a lot of grit.
Yeah, Sen may be winning this, but Cloud9 is winning Pearl right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
and
coming back.
They have an opportunity to trade maps against each other as well. First map Ascent picked by Cloud9.
Yeah, we're gonna go team map beat, right?
Yeah.
We beat your map, you beat our map, and then
they'll have to go to Icebox.
And it's gonna go quadruple. It's gonna be better than the Foot BBL game.
If anything, there was a little bit of trouble for Sentinels on map. Like the series that they lost for the first time, or the only series they lost in Split 1, was actually against Group. And one of those maps was actually on the map of Icebox. And what does Cloud9 usually bring out on this map? Double controlling. They played the Harbor, they played the Viper on top of that.
Harbor Viper,
exactly.
yeah.
So it's been a pain point for Sentinels when they had to play against Crew for that one. But I feel personally when I was watching that game, it was not necessarily in terms of the macro, but the micro. They weren't really together for these team fights when they're scaling back towards the map. We're definitely seeing it, at least so far in this series.
Yeah.
So it definitely could be a different story if this goes into a third map. But speaking about that, before we get into the third map, the second map has to finish. And we get a chance now to move back in. Thank you once again, chat, for your patience. And now back here after the timeout from Kaplan. Only the Stinger small armor from Narrate being purchased, while the rest here of the team are on Sheriffs. Zelsis with a classic, working together, trying to push up towards middle for control. And Zekken might get punished, though, as he's trying to move up here towards the orb.
All 5 here? They're not even leaving anything towards Art, which is actually a pretty good selection because they'd be running into a whole swath of people. But yeah, this is a very cautious round. I love that both teams have that inkling that something's going to be going down. And they play accordingly in the death ball. Sen may have a little bit of an upper hand here. 2 of those Sheriffs are rotating around slowly, as long as Net didn't check that camera.
He hasn't been checking his camera. This is an opportunity now for Sentinels, or even for C9. There you go. Okay,
Hello.
now that's information.
And they all start moving forward. They say, okay, no point in going back. We saw 1. There could be way more with the confidence of that push. And they're going to slam site knowing that they have numbers. A lot of concuss going down on the backside. Give it a quick shake and you'll be reset here now in the eyes of Mitch as the Hunter's Fury burns across A site. The pings go through. The VIP protection is there. Get down, Mr. President, says Oxy. They protect Vic on the plant. Zelsis and Aerie both fall to the wayside now. And now it's just the Sheriffs to do work as they are found at the end of Mitch's Phantom.
I'm back.
Could use a dimensional drift. Although tapping the spike, dropping some players will be kind of good here for Sentinels. But it definitely does feel, that it should be a C9 round.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough pincer.
Hold on.
Wait, they let the 1v1s happen, and it's going to be too much. It's going to be bang. Pushing forward, going for the defuse, half from Zekken. They time it correctly. The gun delivery is there too. Everything and the kitchen sink for Sentinels to pick up that round coming out of the timeout.
How the heck did that happen for Sentinels to turn that around back in their favor?
I think at the last point they had everybody, they feel like the site was safe, so everybody left the site. And there was no one to play off of, there's no contact, everybody's setting up util all at the wrong moment, leaving that window for Sentinels.
There was a window of opportunity at the very beginning when Sentinels were actually closing that gap and closing it to C9. And when the camera saw so much, though, that should have been like, okay, we know exactly where we're at. We should maybe flip the map over towards Art. And they did. But somehow the shots are landing better here for Sentinels in this series. We now finally are able to salvage a round in the second half, get the first run on the defensive side. Off a Thrifty to build the economy. This might have been the swing round that they needed. Timeout was supposed to be for this round here for Sentinels to pick it up.
Yeah, they make the Sheriffs work somehow. Huge style. Now pushing towards the site. We saw Oxy just towards A main trying to get through the window in Art, but they decide to go right through Art with 3, a 4th coming. And it's only going to be Vic on the outside. Sentinels is very ready for this defense with 3 already there.
They're just trying to delay here so that Zelsis can rotate across. If there's going to be a second wave pushing in by C9, you have the ult from Zelsis for them to flood back within.
Waiting for a peek, waiting for any type of push, but they're not getting an inch from Sentinels. They may have a bit of a route here from street around the corner, but look at this, already set up by Zelsis. They've left the util there, the guard was running.
He's going to try to ult to delay this so that Zekken gets his value towards the back of the site.
Spike still going down. They're trying to plant it within the firefight here. Zeppa able to get one. Mitch coming flying out of there. Gets taken down by Zelsis. Oxy's playing the forward motion. He's trying to stop him before they can get to the site here, and it's going to be tough as 4 very healthy members of Sentinels are about to break down the door into B site. All the members of C9 are here. They're not trying to go down long. They're trying to fight it as soon as it happens on the doorstep.
And salvos are back up. Here comes the flood from Sentinels.
Oh, Oxy just between swapping weapons out of the Blade Storm is not going to be enough for him. John Cutie answers as well, and they're going to be able to pin down Vic for that final hit. And the defuse coming through for Sentinels.
Huge game plan for Sentinels off that timeout. It's just to have Zelsis run back and forth to get that ult ready to just help out on that second wave push from Cloud9. Great delays coming through. They had to use both of their ults, though, at least to try to win the round for Sentinels, but you'll definitely take it. Swinging 2 rounds in a row on the defensive side. But what a push coming out as well. Zekken did die at the very beginning, but Zelsis was there to support, to delay, to give a chance here for Sentinels to just recoup and fled back. And Imi is not happy with the results out of that one, especially when they had great post-plan positioning.
Yeah, they're going to get a timeout out of that. Imi pushing that button right away. And this was, C9 did have a few rounds to their name, if we remember. 6 in a row coming into this half, so they've got some money built up. Not a problem there. This one, however, will be pretty tough and get towards resetting their money. They may have one more broken buy, and that's, after this, going to be game point for Sen. So huge rifle round here coming in as Imi calls the timeout. No ultimates online right now for Cloud9, and they're pretty far from the big ones. So this is going to be all about util, all about structuring the round and getting themselves into the site with teamwork.
That is definitely the silver lining for Cloud9. 6 rounds in a row. They still have Akon to work with, but we just talked about what was going to be the pivotal round for Sentinels, that thrifty that he got in round number 19. C9 wins it, loses this round. You mentioned a broken economy, but that would also put Sentinels at series point.
For sure.
And now out of this timeout, C9 looks like they want to pivot here towards the A side, but these double stars being set down in the very beginning by Sentinels will not allow for you to really get early orb control, even being denied, as John Cutie picks that up. And that could have been huge there for Zeppa to start, as he's been a win condition here for Cloud9 to at least get good information if he's able to get this dimensional drift.
The crossfires are a little scary. Yeah, Sen starts to back off just a little bit with how far Zekken is up on the other side of the map. They know one of these sites can get hit very hard, so playing the one and dones for Sen is super scary. They are all anchored in sight now on that A side.
And you see how they're playing a lot more passively for Sentinels this time around, with the exception of Zekken. They've been really good playing on the extremities of the map. The salvos from John Cutie are very good to delay.
Yeah.
But also, within the last few rounds, they've had the opportunity to play to their strength in terms of a team to play the flood retakes. And Sentinels has been faltering, trying to defend the post plant.
Straight into sight. Not much util to go with it. Just the default stuff. A flash, a smoke, a dash. And it's not enough to throw Sentinels for a loop here. Oxy does find himself a weapon and pretty healthy to boot.
And he gets the Armageddon with that kill too. Beautiful haunt being thrown by Narrate. Now the win con here trying to survive. It's probably not going to happen. Now you're pushing him once again off another plant. Zelsis is lurking through.
Oh, Zelsis. Oh, gets one, gets a second on that transfer, and he's able to hold it down to keep the Phantom screaming. And this is going to be one of the toughest rounds Vic has faced, and John Cutie will be right there to sit him down. Match and series point for Sentinels.
Because we looked at Cloud9 with the amount of times that they were playing on their attack side, but also investing into half shields often, being one of the key prominent teams that also plays on a lot of regen shields, they're actually able to muster up potentially a last stand. Another rifle round coming out, Guardian in the hand of Net.
A push every single round. He's done it every round. They just get to figure it out this time.
But C9 hasn't been pushing towards this B
Exactly.
at the top, so they never understood that Zekken was pushing up, and Zekken's everywhere once again.
Zekken wants to clean up this final round already. 2 to his name. They're running away from him towards his team.
Into the vice util.
Bang. Look how safe he's playing too. Even knowing they have such an upper hand, you're not going to take the fights that could get you to go down. Zalsis falls, but there's still so much here for Sen to use to take control of this round. And now the 2v4 from Cloud9's side. Can they produce the same result their opponents did previous in the series?
You definitely want these two players alive here to try to win it for Cloud9, and they do so.
Vic, full health, regened up, and they know where he is for a moment. Peeks to Zekken. Zekken's got it! The 3K, the finalizer, and Sentinels will take down Cloud9 in 2 maps.
A dominant performance by Cloud9 on Ascent and also on Pro. Well, they had to fight a bit for that second half, but they still managed to pull this through and push Cloud9 to the lower brackets, where now Sentinels still has another chance, another victory that they need to play against G2 to try to qualify to Toronto. But at least in this series, Zekken was such a treat to watch.
That was incredible stuff. We set up the 2 high-octane players of Oxy and Zekken in there. Zekken came out on fire. Really supported from the team behind him. The rest of the squad shooting hot as well. We got the aces in here coming in from Sentinels today. They were on a different level, and when they needed to adapt, Kaplan stepped in, gave him some words of wisdom, and the adaptation was there.
Yeah, and for sure. And when you're looking also at the performances, we've hyped up and saw the clutches coming through from players like Zelsa, for example, but the aces that came out from Bang as well. But Nary, on an agent like the Fate, he doesn't have an opportunity to play as aggressive as he does on a solo on different maps.
Setting you up.
Exactly. 16 assists that he has on that map on Pearl.